Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Kevaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Kevaradhari Yasodanandana Bhaja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Bhaja Janaranjana Yamuna Tera Vanachar Yamuna Tera Vanachar Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari. Hare Krishna, good morning. This morning we will discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, the Pandavas, Retired Timely, Text 21. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamudiret Nasvejya Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sivya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistike. Tatvaidanus Taisava Sarato Hayaste Soham Rati Nipatayo Yata Ananmanti Sarvangshanena Tadabut Asat Isariktam Bashman Uptam Kuharadam Ivuptamusyam. The word for translation. That the same, why certainly, Dano, the same bow, Te Ishvara, arrows, Saha, the very same, Rata, chariot, Hayate, the very same horses, Sa Aham, I'm the same Arjuna, Rati, the chariot fighter, Nepataya, all the kings, Yataha, whom, Anamanti, offer their respects, Sarvam, all, Kshanena, at a moment's notice, that all those, Abut, became, Asat, useless, Isha, because of the Lord, Riktam, being void, Bashman, ashes, Hutam, offering butter, Kuara, Radam, money created by magical feats, Eva, like that, Uptam, sown, Usham, in barren land. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. I have the very same Gandiva bow, the same arrows, the same chariot drawn by the same horses, and I use them as the same Arjuna to whom all the kings offered their due respects. But in the absence of Lord Krishna, all of them, at a moment's notice, have become null and void. It is exactly like offering clarified butter into ashes. Accumulating money with a magic wand, or sowing seeds in barren land. Purport. As we have discussed more than once, one should not be puffed up by borrowed plumes. All energies and powers are derived from the Supreme Source, Lord Krishna, and they act as long as he desires and cease to function as soon as he withdraws. All electrical energies are received from the powerhouse, and as soon as the powerhouse stops supplying energy, the bulbs and machines are of no use. In a moment's time, such energies can be generated or withdrawn by the supreme will of the Lord. Material civilization without the blessings of the Lord is child's play only. As long as the parents allow the child to play, it is all right. As soon as the parents withdraw their permission, the child has to stop. Human civilization and all activities thereof must be dovetailed with the supreme blessing of the Lord, and without his blessing, all advancement of human civilization is like the decoration on a dead body. It is said here that the dead civilization and its activities are something like the pouring of clarified butter on ashes, the accumulation of money by a magic wand, and the sowing of seeds in barren land. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Chansala Shlaka Shakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhuttaleshvam Rupakadamayam Dadanti Svam Padantikam. Vandeham Shiu Shiuda Padkamalam Shirum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Saganaragnatam Fitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjanotsaitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandhu Jyatpate Gopesha Kopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamama Haripriye Vankha Kalpta Bisha Kripa Snabhivasha Patnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachai Desatarani. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Hare Krishna. This verse contains very important instructions for all of us. That Lord Brahma, when he started, before he started the creation, he prayed to the Supreme Lord that he prayed for three things. He prayed for empowerment, because without empowerment of the Lord, we cannot do anything. And that is what Arjuna is remembering here, how he was empowered by Lord Krishna. Empowerment, that and he prayed for protection, protection against illusory energy. And he prayed also for reflection. Factually, this reflection is what we are doing when we hear the Bhagavatam. We hear the Bhagavatam, we hear the verse, we try to understand the instructions that are within the verse, and then we reflect these instructions, how can we apply them in our lives? And if we apply them, so what will be the results? So these three aspects Lord Brahma is praying for are very important. Empowerment, because without empowerment, we cannot do anything. Because Krishna makes it very clear in Bhagavad Gita. Everything is done by material nature. In the 5th chapter, he gives the vision of someone who sees really that everything is done by material nature. Naive kinchit karomiti yuktaman yeta tatvavit pasan shifan spreshan shigran ashnan gashan svapan svasan palapam vichinam hinam unmisam nimisam api indiacht esu vartanta iti darayan. So he describes the vision of a person who sees things as they are. Within divine consciousness, it's described. In Krishna consciousness, he sees that although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping and breathing, always know within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. So it is said he knows all these things happen, but he himself does actually nothing at all. That on a material platform we are not doing anything. And the super soul is doing everything through this material body. But what the soul does is on the spiritual platform. The soul means consciousness, and the soul desires, becomes attached to something. And it's by that desire that we do things. That, of course, then if we see this, we may say, okay, we are not doing these things, so it's that are we responsible? Yes, we are responsible. And that we should desire to be responsible. We are not desiring to be responsible, then that will create havoc. That because our actions, all these actions that are happening here, are permitted by the super soul. Upadrastanamantacha. He oversees everything, and he permits what the body can do. That so he gives empowerment, or he may not give empowerment. That and we see in the case of Arjuna. Arjuna was greatly empowered when Krishna was there. He did feats that no one could do on the battlefield. He was amazingly empowered. But the message here is we should see this empowerment. If we don't see this empowerment, if we don't see that the soul only desires and all whatever is done is done by material nature under the supervision of the supersoul, then we are in illusion. That then we come easily puffed up. I'm doing, and we take credit. We think I'm a good preacher, and I will do that, and that. That we are nothing. That we are just a servant of Krishna, and whatever capacity we have, Krishna gives us, and that and this empowerment is dependent on our karma, but Krishna can also give unlimited empowerment to his devotees for engagement in devotional service. That and that is also a very important aspect. When we engage in devotional service, what does the soul do? It endeavors. The desire is there. But if the desire is pure, just to please Krishna without getting something in return, then Lakshmi is pleased. Lakshmi is pleased if we want to serve Krishna. And she comes and empowers us and gives of all means. And Krishna will give us all what we need for our service. It says that in Bhagavad Gita, Ananta Sintyantaman Viechana Payapashite Tesham Nitya Viyuktanam Yogakstema Faham Yaham. That so that this is verse 9:22. That and Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport what that factually means. So the verse says, "One worships me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I care what they lack, and I preserve what they have." I care what they lack means also Krishna empowers us and gives us what we need for executing our devotional service. And that so that Prabhupada writes in the purport, such activities are all auspicious and full of spiritual potencies. These potencies are coming from Krishna, which make the devotee perfect in self-realization, so that his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That his only desire is to achieve the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's very strong. And that is our link with Krishna. That if we come to that desire, we don't come back to the spiritual platform, Prabhupada says. That so, and Krishna will protect us from falling down to a miserable condition of life. This miserable condition of life starts with when we think we are the doer. That then when Krishna does not empower us, then we feel depressive. That but factually, Krishna may empower us or not. It's up to him. If he empowers us, we should not feel extraordinarily happy. And when he's not empowering us, we should also accept it. That so one should become equipoised in that. And that being equipoised will happen only when we see Krishna's hand in everything, whether positive or negative. That That was the instruction Bhakti Maharaj gave me. Whatever good or bad happens, accept it as the mercy of the Lord. That's being equal, whether one is empowered or not empowered. That whether one gets happiness or distress. That is an important aspect of our devotional service. That Krishna says in 520 Bhagavad Gita, Na paspet yet priyam papyano vichat papya sapriyam stirbadura samuda brahmavid mamanistita. That so one who does not feel happy when something good comes, or feel unhappy when something unpleasant comes, he who is such a person, Krishna says, unbewildered, that he knows the signs of God, is saturated in transcendence. And that so yes, that we must know our constitutional position, that and not trying falsely to think all the powers I have are my powers. That so if one becomes studied like that, one, Krishna says, Yamina Vyatatante Purusham Purushashava Agamapi Samudukha Sukham Riyam Shomi Tatvya Kalpati. One who is equal in this happiness and distress, that he is ready for liberation. That but we'll see Arjuna is remembering Krishna's empowerment, but he will also remember Krishna's instructions from Bhagavad Gita, and he will get spiritual power from these instructions. That spiritual power is much more important than material achievements or achievements in this world. Because that spiritual power will make us steady in devotional service. That Prabhupada in this purport gives beautiful analogies in that so the material civilization without the blessings of the Lord is a child's play only. It's all a temporary thing for giving enjoyment to bodies which are perishable, soon not there anymore. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, one who lives for the pleasure of the senses, he lives for nothing. That it's all endeavors are in vain. And that so in other words, our desire must become pure. The desire to connect with Krishna. That's not really craving out of the soul. Material life means making connections with material life means making connections with this material energy. But that will degrade us. Our connection must always be spiritual, meant to please Krishna, and even if we use material energy in that sense, it becomes spiritualized. Its nature changes. Everything used in the service of the Lord becomes spiritualized. That, but this is the tragedy of this material world. Everyone wants to achieve so many things that, but it's like a child's play. It has no meaning. It creates material attachments and it degrades oneself. Every action in Krishna consciousness will purify us and protect us against the material energy. Therefore, when Brahma prayed for these three things, empowerment, that protection against illusion and introspection, Lord Krishna said to Brahma, all what you have prayed is granted. As long as you engage in unalloyed devotion to me, you will always be protected against the illusory energy. So that is the point, that that's our protection, constant engagement in devotional service. The same thing was there with Priyavrata. Priyavrata, he was a brahmachari living in the Himalayas doing austerities, a disciple of Narada Muni. Then Narada Muni came, and Brahma gave Priyavrata the order to become the emperor of the earth, because there was no ruler. That and Narada Muni said, don't do it, it's not good for your spiritual life, just remain a brahmachari, that you will have to become a grihastha and so on. But then Brahma came down and overruled the instruction of Narada Muni. And he said to Narada Muni, he said to Priyavrata, I order you to become the king. And then Priyavrata asked the same question. Is that not dangerous for my spiritual life? And Brahma said, I received the order of the Supreme Lord to take care of the population of the universe. And I'm giving you the same order. As long as you are fixing on that order to please the Lord, you will not be in illusion. So that's the same instruction he got from the Supreme Lord. And the Lord said him the same thing. But in practice, it's not so easy. That if to constantly engage in the purity, to constantly engage in the service of the Lord requires purity. Purity of desire, purity of heart. Usually it takes a while. But if we follow the process to us given by Srila Prabhupada and learn from him and the spiritual master how to engage 24 hours a day in devotional service, we make gradually progress to that ideal. And even if we are in the process with determination and steadfastness, we will be protected against the greatest suffering. That those who are not following this process, they are doomed by the material energy. But the devotee has a bright future. Gradually becomes more and more freed from this illusion. This illusion that I'm the doer in the material world and the controller. But we are only the servant. And we are serving, and whatever Krishna empowering us, whatever empowerment Krishna gives us, we will accept and use in the service of Krishna. But we should never think I'm doing it. It's only by the mercy of Krishna and the mercy of the spiritual master. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Good. Thank you very much. I wish you a nice Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna. Sai Prabhupada.